Hello, my name is Dr. Frederick Covington, and I'm an occupational therapist. Today, our question comes from Miss Judy Reisenberg, and she asked, what is a sensory diet? Now, a sensory diet is a carefully designed personalized activity plan that provides the sensory input a person needs to stay focused and organized throughout the day. Now, what does this mean? Let's take a moment, simplify, and break it down. When constructing a sensory diet, what we have to look at are all the senses that make up a thorough sensory diet. We have to look at proprioception, vestibular, tactile, auditory, visual, smell, and taste. Now we'll briefly go over each, starting with proprioception. Now, proprioceptive input are sensations from joints, muscles, and connective tissues that lead to body awareness. Sensory input can be obtained by lifting, pushing, and pulling heavy objects, including one's own weight. A child can also stimulate the proprioceptive sense by engaging in activities that push joints together, like pushing something heavy, or pull joints apart, like hanging from monkey bars. Now moving on to vestibular. Vestibular input is the sense of movement centered in the inner ear. Any type of movement will stimulate the vestibular receptors, but spinning, swinging, and hanging upside down provide the most intense and longest lasting input. Tactile. The tactile sense is the sense of touch. Here, light touch, deep pressure, texture, temperature, vibration can all be utilized to provide sensation. Not only does tactile include the skin covering your body, but also the skin lining the inside of your mouth. Oral tactile issues can contribute to picky eating and feeding difficulties. Various oral motor devices and various food textures can provide sensory stimulation for the mouth. Looking at auditory, the auditory input refers to both what we hear and how we listen, and is physiologically connected with the vestibular sense. Kids and adults can get calming and organizing auditory input from various types of recordings and music. Visual input deals with sight. It can often be overstimulating to a child with sensory issues. Think about ways you can simplify the visual field at home or school for a calming, organizing effect. Alternately, if a child seems tuned out and doesn't respond, add brightly colored objects to encourage visual attention. Looking at smell, this is olfactory input, and this comes through the nose and goes straight to the most primitive part of the brain. So, if your child is upset by something being stinky, it's no wonder. Certain odors can stimulate calm or send him or her into a frenzy or a sensory overload. Now looking at taste. Taste input is perceived by our tongue, but how we interpret or experience it is strongly influenced by our sense of smell. As an experiment, chew some gum until the flavor is gone. Then hold a lemon under your nose. The gum will then taste like a lemon. Now, here's an example. Justin is a 7-year-old child with a sensory processing disorder. He's hypersensitive. When observing him, it seems as though the world around him doesn't exist. He is non-responsive to stimuli that other children his age would find somewhat exciting. Now, following an occupational therapy evaluation, the OT recommended a sensory diet for Justin. It was made as such. In the morning, massage his feet and back to help wake him up. Listen to recommended therapeutic listening CDs. Use a vibrating toothbrush and or a vibrating hairbrush. Eat crunchy cereal with fruit, and to jump on a mini trampoline. Now, after school, he could go to the playground for at least 30 minutes, spinning as directed on the various playground equipment. Use theraputty or do wheelbarrow walks. Do ball exercises as directed. Again, listen to therapeutic listening CDs. And oral work, suck thick liquids through a straw, eat crunchy and chewy snacks, or chew gum before and or during tabletop activities. At dinner time, allow him to help with the cooking, mixing, and chopping, etc. Let him help set the table using 2 hands to carry and balance the tray, and also provide crunchy and chewy foods. At night or near bedtime, family time, he can play with clay or do painting projects. Also allow for a warm bath with bubbles and calming essential oils, and a massage during reading time or right before bedtime. Now, a separate program was worked out for Justin with the school via collaboration with the school occupational therapist. Now, symptoms that may indicate a problem. For instance, if your child was diagnosed as either being hypersensitive or hyposensitive, depending on their personal levels and thresholds, a sensory diet may be beneficial. And you can refer back to previous videos for information on hypersensitive and hyposensitive. Now, as always, if you have any comments, questions, please feel free to leave them here, and we'll be seeing you next time. Take care.